Gambakwe media boys meso abo anogara akafurika nzeve dzavo dzinogara dzakavhurika zvese connected musharukwa Gambakwe vanogaya mari meso abo anogara akafurika nzeve dzavo dzinogara dzakavhurika zvese connected musharukwa Gambakwe vanogaya mari ndakubvunza mamuona here Gambakwe vachitaura Simba people, bari kupikiza bondivana pingo, kukeye kungoshabiza sema kumumango. Chemudiri boys tamu chemutingo, wakarara unochinzira mubondo, uchinda shakawanda pameti ya follow, uchinda nyeyadziri straight futi follow. Tamnoda kunza shiri kuno, tamakamirira futi shiri kuno. Kambege media ndoti to the fullest, ukaona ndasembisa icho ndatinyanyesti. Ndakutira msoro boys tamu kanisho, musada kupikiza muno Simba people, bari kupikiza bondivana pingo, kupeye kungoshabiza sema kumumango. Meso abo anogara akafurika, nzeve dzavo dzinogara dzakavhurika, zvese connected musharukwa Gambakwe vanogaya mari. Meso abo anogara akafurika, nzeve dzavo dzinogara dzakavhurika, zvese connected musharukwa Gambakwe vanogaya mari. Ndakubvunza mamuona here Gambakwe vachitaura meso abo anogara akafurika nzeve dzavo dzinogara dzakavhurika zvese connected musharukwa Gambakwe vanogaya mari. Gambakwe media boys meso abo anogara akafurika nzeve dzavo dzinogara dzakavhurika zvese connected musharukwa Gambakwe vanogaya mari. Meso abo anogara akafurika nzeve dzavo dzinogara dzakavhurika zvese connected musharukwa.
Right. 28 March 2025, and today I'm going to be giving you a more comprehensive coverage of the events taking place in Harare. So this needs a proper coverage because we've got a lot happening in Zimbabwe today, and we're going to have a lot that is going to happen tomorrow, Saturday, and on Sunday. Everything is going to come together. I expect that by Sunday we'll have a state of emergency, a full-fledged state of emergency in Zimbabwe. On Monday, I expect everyone to stay at home. If people don't stay at home and protest, and Mnangagwa leaves, we're going to have a full-fledged coup in Zimbabwe. So a coup is going to take place in Zimbabwe, and you're going to see the removal of Mnangagwa forcefully by people aligned to the war veterans and people aligned to General Chiwenga. So I want to start with the key stakeholders. I want us to spend a bit of time on the key stakeholders. Who is who in what is happening right now? What is the source of what is happening now? When did it start? And I want to start with General Chiwenga. The most important person in Zimbabwe right now is General Chiwenga. General Chiwenga is the most powerful figure in Zimbabwe. There is no one in Zimbabwe as powerful as General Chiwenga, because General Chiwenga is considered to be a clean person. He is considered to be someone who is not corrupt. He is considered to be someone that can change the fortune of Zimbabwe. So the majority of Zimbabweans want General Chiwenga to take over from Mnangagwa. General Chiwenga has got a number of sons, but all his sons are not in politics. On the other side, we have Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is the current president of Zimbabwe. Mnangagwa has been in various security state positions since 1980. He's been a constant feature in the governments of Zimbabwe since 1985. And things have come to a head recently after the economy of Zimbabwe has collapsed. So the economy of Zimbabwe has collapsed, and this is what has led to where we are right now. The government of Zimbabwe is no longer functional. The government of Zimbabwe is living from hand to mouth. And Mnangagwa has started to collect huge sums of money through his friends and cronies, people like Wikno Chivayo, Kudata Gwirei, Scott Sakupanya. They feature largely, and Mnangagwa has appointed a cabinet that includes his children, his wives, his girlfriends, and he is considered to be someone that is very, very corrupt. He is on US sanctions. So Mnangagwa is on US sanctions. His wife is on US sanctions. The only president in the world that is on US sanctions together with his wife. So that is Mnangagwa. And on the same list that was produced last week, there are a number of people that are very corrupt that were mentioned as being corrupt. And my understanding is that as we speak right now, someone has been kidnapped. So I've said this in the morning. Someone among the 34 people that are mentioned has been kidnapped, and he's being kept somewhere by armed people. So there is a group of armed people that is operating. The first place that they hit was the house of the father-in-law of Wikno Chivayo. So the father of Wikno Chivayo, who stays in Marondera, was robbed, and an amount of $70,000 was stolen, was taken by force. And that was the first hit, the first hint that there is a group of armed people that are out there that are able to launch an operation. Yesterday, 3 locations were hit by bombs. So 3 bombs went off in Harare, resulting in a lot of damage at the business of Wikno Chivayo, where there is a Starlink and where there is other businesses, including Intratech. Intratech, one of the most corrupt companies in Zimbabwe, which is involved in the elections of Zimbabwe in 2023. The elections of Zimbabwe were rigged using a South African company, and the South African company used Intratech. Intratech was given over $400 million US, which they used to print ballot papers, which were clearly marked already in favor of Mnangagwa. And there is a full report on what has happened over there. So the stakeholders, as I've said, General Chiwenga, Mnangagwa on the other side, and then we've got the military. In the military, Mnangagwa has been working with a number of generals. So when I talk of generals, I'm talking about generals that are there from the past. We are talking here of over 100 generals. I'm talking here of the level from general and up to brigadier general. So that level of the generals, what happened is that there is a general called Veja who passed away. So that general, that was the first time I spoke about this. The fight started during the death of Veja, where 2 generals, 2 brigadier generals in 2 separate cars collided at night. And this was seen as an assassination. Both generals died. Other police, other soldiers who were in the car survived, but they've never said what happened during that death of Veja. We have seen the death of other generals in between, and this is being blamed on Mnangagwa. So the generals were there who were during the coup against Mugabe. So far, 46, at least 46 of those generals have passed away. So let's look at who has died among the generals. So if you go to Gambakwe and you look at who killed the coup generals, you are going to see a list of over 46 generals that were killed. And these are said to have been killed using poison, using accidents, and other means of killing, as Mnangagwa is considered to be an expert and a master at killing these people. So I'm not the one who said it. You can go and check it out. So let's look at the generals who have died so that you understand. The man that announced the coup, SB Moyo, died, and he was one of the people who died. It is expected, or it is suspected, that Mnangagwa used the cover of the pandemic to kill these generals. So look on your screen. These are some of the generals who died. And on your top right and on your middle right, very important, the man with the head, with the open eyes, are there. That is the father of Esi Lumumba. Esi Lumumba was instrumental in announcing the past coup, or the last coup. And this is General Chiwenga when he was very sick. You can see Majaira Majairos has done a lot of work here, showing us the death of Godfrey Chanakira, Keno Mhlanga, Dennis Pasha, Charles Kaneta mysteriously died. This is all people aligned to Chiwenga who have been killed, who died during this period. And we're looking here at Emilio Mnemo. Emilio Mnemo was the father of Esi Lumumba, very important, and one of the most instrumental, because the last coup was announced by Esi Lumumba together with a man called Tinoma Mbeu. So Mnangagwa, when he fled to South Africa, he spent most of his time with Esi Lumumba and with Tinoma Mbeu, who were instrumental at that time in giving information out to members of the public. I did get a call during that time when Mnangagwa was in South Africa, but I never did meet Mnangagwa myself, as I was not considered to be some of the people that you could trust to spend time with Mnangagwa. Then we had obviously General Sambulo Ndlovu. So many generals killed here, all of them aligned to Chiwenga. So we've looked at Chiwenga, we've looked at Mnangagwa, we've looked at the generals. Who else is there? So when you look at the war veterans were originally in favor of Mnangagwa. The war veterans have perpetrated massive atrocities in Zimbabwe. And what happened is the war veterans thought they were fighting against foreign forces. Last week, top war veteran Blessed Geza has apologized to Zimbabweans for their role in protecting Mnangagwa. Where did Blessed Geza come from? So Blessed Geza is a top war veteran, a former MP, a businessman, a member of the intelligence, and one of the most trained officials or most trained army person in Zimbabwe. He says there is no one in Zimbabwe who is as trained in anything as himself. That is what he said. Blessed Geza started to feature when he was in an interview with a journalist called Blessed Mhlanga. Blessed Mhlanga is currently in jail after he was arrested for having the interviews with Blessed Geza. So Blessed Mhlanga has been jailed by Mnangagwa and is currently sitting in a jail cell. He has not come out ever since he took these interviews, the two of them. And currently, Blessed Geza is having interviews on his own private platforms. It's not clear who is hosting Blessed Geza, but there is a number of theories about who's hosting Blessed Geza. The most important theory is that Blessed Geza is sitting in one of the army barracks, particularly KG6, where he's getting protection. Another theory is that Blessed Geza has left Zimbabwe and is currently living with the savior Kasukuwere. So those are the two prominent theories that are out there, that these two people are connected and are aligned, and Blessed Geza currently not arrested. And he says Mnangagwa knows where he is. If he wants, he can come and get him. So we've looked at the war veterans. Now let's look at another war veteran. And this is a very prominent war veteran, very important war veteran. This is the man that I'm going to show you here right now. He is called Mdara. So I want to show you the picture before I mention the name. Right there. That is top war veteran. And you can see, obviously, that this is the Bulawayo-based war veteran. So for the first time, Bulawayo-based war veteran Matibela is working together with the Harare-based war veterans. Normally what was happening is that The Bulawayo-based war veterans would do their own thing. The Harare-based war veterans would do their own thing. Currently, everyone is working together, except for a third group of war veterans that is working with Mnangagwa. There is a third group of war veterans that is working with Mnangagwa. The third group of war veterans is being sponsored by people in Dubai. So a number of people in Dubai are sponsoring the war veterans that work with Mnangagwa. The plan is that Mnangagwa should be able to steal as much as possible before he runs away. So they are keeping this going for a long, long time while they steal, and eventually Mnangagwa is going to run away to Dubai, where a house has been bought for him and where he's going to live after being invited by the Prince of Dubai. So that is what has happened. Mnangagwa awaiting the right moment to flee. And what Mnangagwa has done, according to sources, Mnangagwa has gone to the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe and he has taken out all the gold. So every single bar of gold worth about 10 tons has been removed from the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. After the coup, we are going to see what has happened to the 10 tons of gold that was at the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. Apparently, this gold was originally in the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe, but was moved to an unknown location by Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa has also bought Bitcoin worth $3 billion. So Bitcoin worth $3 billion. It is not clear where the money came from to buy that Bitcoin. There is a man called Skosana. I'm talking about a man called Skosana for a very, very long time. So I'm going to show you the picture of Professor Skosana over here. So Professor Skosana was handling the Bitcoin from Mnangagwa. According to my sources, the Bitcoin was worth $3 billion. And this Bitcoin had been stolen or has been stolen. And Mnangagwa does not have access to this Bitcoin. This professor comes from the same raw area as Mnangagwa in Berengwa. And he's currently frantically trying to get back this Bitcoin. Last year, he was arrested or kidnapped in South Africa and was taken to Harare for a number of days, together with people that reportedly or are rumored to have stolen the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin was not retrieved and is currently in Zimbabwe, according to my understanding, together with his wife, as it is not clear where the Bitcoin has gone. But let me not get carried away. Let me not get carried away with the theories. Let's go to the facts. We have talked about Chwenga, Mnangagwa, the dead generals, the war veterans. Who else is there? They are the living generals who were not killed. So currently there's Elson Moyo, the Air Force commander. He was not killed. Elson Moyo was fired after Mnangagwa received a threat on his jet while traveling to Victoria Falls. Mnangagwa was forced to turn back and land his jet. And at that time, I had a theory that Mnangagwa probably made the whole thing up so that he could fire Elson Moyo. However, I don't think that is the reason. Seeing what is happening now, I think that was probably a true threat on Mnangagwa. However, that was big. Then in December, the generals together with Chwenga had a meeting in Manicaland. And I showed you this meeting where Chwenga met with the generals, including Valerio Sbanda. During this meeting, where people like Matanga and Enselem Sanyatwe was there, there was also a lot of other generals who were here. The meeting was called to express concern over the behavior of Mnangagwa, the corruption that he was doing, and also the involvement of people like Wikinoch Vayo in government affairs, the movement of a person like Oxila Mnangagwa. Oxila Mnangagwa was going all over the country holding rallies, and Mnangagwa began a process of going for a third term. So Mnangagwa has started the process of the third term, and the generals were very concerned that this was unconstitutional. So they met in Manicaland, and this happened on the, so let me give you the exact date, on the 13th of December, when Mnangagwa was out of the country. and Chiwenga was acting president. So this is what happened. Chiwenga met with all the generals, and a decision was made that Mnangagwa must be approached and he must be asked to step down. In January, Mnangagwa was asked to step down and he refused to step down. So Mnangagwa refused to step down and proceeded to fire the generals. So Mnangagwa proceeded to fire the generals, and he fired Matanga, head of police. He fired the head of intelligence, and we have seen this week he has fired the head of the army, that is Anselm Sanyatwe. We expect him to fire more people in the military, and my understanding is that as we go forward, if Chiwenga does not move away, there is a plan to eliminate Chiwenga. So that is my understanding. Let me take a drink. Let me take a drink and collect my thoughts so that we don't continue continuously. So that we don't continue continuously. Let's take a small break right now while I take you to the next. Mama wanna get it, mama wanna get it I know food I me so, I know food I tell I know kaya mari. Right. So, what has triggered the events in Zimbabwe? What has triggered the war veterans to come out? What caused them to come out? I want to take you through the whole process. What triggered the war veterans is the ED 2030, the attempt by Mnangagwa to go for a third term. So if this guy keeps phoning me, I'm going to answer him in public. I'm going to answer him in public. So what I'm saying is there was an attempt by Mnangagwa to go for a third term. There was also an attempt by Mnangagwa to place Auxilia Mnangagwa in a strategic position and his sons, including those in the army, that is Sean Mnangagwa and Collins Mnangagwa, who was now running the business of government. We also have the son of Mnangagwa, Kuda Mnangagwa, who is sitting in the Ministry of Finance. So money was now flowing only in the Mnangagwa family. That is money for day-to-day use, money, okay, a piggy bank. Let's summarize it. They made the government their piggy bank and they made sure that no one else had access to money. So what happened is this triggered the war veterans. The war veterans had an interview last year. Geza had an interview. During this interview, he warned Mnangagwa that the war veterans were going to come at him. They tried to approach Mnangagwa to address the issues to do with the warfare, but that was not listened to, that was not heard. And this resulted in the war veterans taking the next step, which is to ask Mnangagwa to step down. So I want to show you one of the videos, the recent videos, where Mnangagwa was asked to step down by the war veterans.
31 March, tikukubirisai kuti munhu wose kubva kuplum tree. In fact, haizi demonstration, tinoitizvo uprising. Munhu wese ngaapinde mustreet. Munhu wese ngaapinde mustreet. Right? Tikuda kuti Mnangagwa, Emerson Mnangagwa, Spy Mnangagwa, ainde neligaranda zvake.
Right. Mnangagwa must go. He must go with his whole family. However, Mnangagwa has come up with a plan, and this started way back. When Geza came out, Mnangagwa then came and started to place what are called parallel structures. So Mnangagwa started to create parallel structures, including parallel war veterans, parallel security, a parallel military, and a parallel air force. He was doing everything. Mnangagwa was doing everything in his power to create parallel structures and sideline the existing structures. When that failed, Mnangagwa started to fire the generals. So up to this day, he has fired every single general. He has fired every single brigadier. He has fired every single head of every department and replaced them with his own people. So this is what Mnangagwa has done. He has replaced them with his own people, and this has angered the war veterans, ending in the situation that you see right now. So the war veterans are working with the army. The army has been divided into two parts. So at the higher level, the generals, the top generals, are on one side, with a few that are on Mnangagwa's side. At the middle level, at the brigadier general level, Mnangagwa has dismissed everyone who was not aligned to himself, and he has placed his own people earlier in January. And then right now, he has placed the higher people at the higher level to remove the generals that are not aligned to him, and particularly in intelligence and in the police and prison services, and now in the Zimbabwe National Army. Mnangagwa has placed these people over there. However, there are two distinct armies right now in Zimbabwe. That is the army aligned to Mnangagwa and the army aligned to Chiwenga. And that is where we are right now. That is where the coup is coming from. One side is going to fight the other side, and you're going to see fighting on the streets if there's no resolution to what you're seeing here. If there's no solution to what you're seeing, you're going to see one army fighting another army. The mercenaries that have been brought in by Mnangagwa, some of them are waiting in South Africa, some of them in Mozambique, and they are waiting to assist those ones who are aligned to Mnangagwa, who are currently the ones with the arms. All the soldiers have been disarmed. However, Mnangagwa has made contingency plans so that his side of the army will get arms and will be able to fight the other side that does not have arms. However, this could all go wrong if the people of Zimbabwe on Monday decide to protest. If the people of Zimbabwe protest successfully on Monday, you are not going to see that fight because Mnangagwa will be removed. However, if the protest that is made for Monday fails, you are going to see Mnangagwa and the other army, which is on Chiwenga's side, clashing in public, and they are going to fight each other to the death. I've said it to you in the past, there's going to be a fight to the death. There is no future where you're going to see Chiwenga and Mnangagwa sitting on the same table. One of these men is going to be gone by next week. Between Chiwenga and Mnangagwa, you won't see both of them next week. One of them is going to be gone. One of them is going to be out of this earth. And if Chiwenga moves slowly, they are going to eliminate him. The process has already started. And as I say to you, someone has been kidnapped. A very high profile person has been kidnapped right now. He's being held hostage. And you're going to hear that news within a short space of time. That happened yesterday. A very high level figure in Zimbabwean politics has been kidnapped and is being kept somewhere. According to my sources, this has happened yesterday. And you're going to see a terrible, terrible thing coming out in Zimbabwe. All the people that I've talked about are still around. Matanga is still around. Osonmo is still around. Anselm Sanyatwe is still around. And the new people that are here, they haven't even settled down. They haven't settled down to understand what's going on. This is because Mnangagwa has made so many drastic changes without understanding the effect of uprooting the leadership of the army, uprooting the brigadier generals, uprooting all these people that is uprooted and put them around. He's only thinking about himself. He thinks the army can be run from the top, but that is not correct. The biggest mistake Mnangagwa has made is to try and go into the military and make the military his personal military. Remember, I always said the military is stronger than Mnangagwa. The military is stronger than any president, and the military will fight for its independence. There is no military in the world that will allow itself to be controlled by one person, because the military is a structure. It has its own rules. So there's no way that the military is going to allow Mnangagwa to just sit there and take over and command them. The military is made up of strong people. If there is a war and the military is fighting, when the commander drops, there is a process of replacing that commander. They will not accept a situation where they are made temporary. So the military is permanent, people are temporary. That is the ideology in the military. However, Mnangagwa wants to introduce an ideology of a king where he just appoints people from nowhere. Guys, I want to show you something strange that has happened. So yesterday, Ketsi Coventry, the IOC president, has given an interview to Trevor Ngube, the owner or the former owner of the independent newspapers in Zimbabwe. Ketsi Coventry said to Trevor Ngube, it was horrific and unsettling when she was sitting having dinner with her friends, when she got a call from her friends to say Mnangagwa had appointed her into government. She was horrified to find out that Mnangagwa, without consulting her, without talking to her, had made her the Minister of Information of Sports in Zimbabwe. And she says she was, of course, she wanted to be a minister, but she could not believe that she is appointed a minister without being talked to. That is what happens to Mnangagwa. The man is crazy. He does things that you cannot believe. Mnangagwa can appoint you into a position without telling you, like he did to Ketsi Coventry. Here, Ketsi Coventry was shocked to find herself appointed as a minister without knowing that such an appointment was coming, without being talked to, and without being asked if she wanted the job or not. Many people around Mnangagwa are appointed without being talked to. They don't know what the man is talking about. They don't know who is in charge and why he's doing it. He is just doing things as if he's running a tuck shop, Kanakuti, a banana republic. That is the problem with Mnangagwa. He does stuff that defies logic. And this is one of the reasons why the army is uprising against Mnangagwa. Last year, there were reports that Mnangagwa forgets what he's doing or what he's thinking, and he just goes off. And his children had gone to him to meet with an aunt to say, this man, what he's doing is putting the family in danger. He is no longer of sound mind. And this is confirmed by the military. This meeting was happened. I showed you pictures of that meeting where the family of Mnangagwa had gone to his farm with their aunt to say Mnangagwa is no longer of sound mind and he is no longer fit to be a president or fit to lead a country. That is Mnangagwa's own children who had done it. However, Mnangagwa rules through a cabal. Office of the president in Zimbabwe has centralized all power. They've taken all power from JOC, the Joint Operations Command, which used to meet every week and make decisions, is no longer meeting to make decisions. All the meetings are now being done at the meeting or at the office of Mnangagwa or at the farm, at Precab farm. And the people that have got no official capacity in government are now being forced onto the people that have got capacity in government. And this has angered officials in the government. Most of them are not being paid. So most officials of government are being paid late, and they're being paid in the odd currency called the ZIG. That currency was created out of thin air. After the last currency, the ZWL, collapsed. So Mnangagwa has collapsed two currencies as president. And the last currency that we have now is backed by nothing but thin air. And the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe governor has got no experience. He's someone who lacks knowledge. And he has never worked anywhere outside of Zimbabwe. He does not understand markets. And if you go to the RBZ website right now, there's no market information. It's all crazy. Mnangagwa's government is a joke. And this has angered the military. People who know about government have been angry. And they were waiting for the war veterans to come out and speak. Because as long as you've got an official capacity, you'll be in great danger if you speak up against Mnangagwa. That has caused all this unhappiness in the military, in official offices. Many people just fired. And Mnangagwa making decisions as if he's at his home, not as if he's in government. There's been a general collapse of infrastructure in the country. No project that Mnangagwa has started has completed. If you look at the roads, Mnangagwa has given tenders and contracts, and on 2 occasions, Chiwenga had to go and complete the projects that Mnangagwa had started. That is the projects on the Masvingo Road, the project at Mount Hamden. Chiwenga had to go over there and help to complete those projects. The guys simply take the money and run. They don't do anything. They don't finish. Up to this day, the villas that were constructed at Parliament are still unfinished. That is from August last year. Nothing's done. It's not finished. Mnangagwa just starts a project, take the money and run. Mbudzi Interchange, one of the biggest and most expensive projects in Zimbabwe, named after Mnangagwa, Trababalas. It's unfinished. The cement was finished. Kudata Gure even bought the cement company and collapsed it. There's a cement company in Zimbabwe called Kaya Cement. It was previously Lafarge Cement. Tagure bought that company hoping that would make cement for Trababalas Interchange or Mbudzi Interchange. But he never managed to make the cement. He took the money and they ran. Multiple officials were caught with their hands in the jar. They stole all the money. And right now, the roads in Zimbabwe are impassable. You cannot pass the roads to Victoria Falls. You cannot pass the road to Bait Bridge. If you are driving from Bait Bridge to Bulawayo, the road is almost dust. There's nothing. If you are driving from Bulawayo to Victoria Falls, there are deep craters on the roads, which were recently photographed by tourists. If you are driving from from Bait Bridge to Masvingo, there are large stretches of road that are not complete, and the Bejnav Bridge is on the verge of collapse, is on the verge of falling in because it has not been repaired. That bridge is more than 100 years old. The road from Bejnav Bridge from Masvingo is one of the worst roads in Zimbabwe. The only road that makes sense is the road from Mtare to Plumtree. That was made by the South Africans, and that road is the one that is functional right now. It's crazy. Mnangagwa's government is a mess, and SADC has thrown out Mnangagwa. They don't want to hear anything about him. SADC does not want to hear about Mnangagwa. They ignore him. And last week, when he was at Namibia, SADC overlooked Mnangagwa and made the president of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, they made her the guest of honor in front of Mnangagwa. What an embarrassment. It was terrible when Mnangagwa was sitting there with his lucky Uyu Mahosi. Those guys who are following Mnangagwa, they know very well that he paid off the SADC executive secretary, Elias Mahosi, so that he could do his bidding. I went there to SADC myself last year. And on my arrival at SADC, I explained that Mnangagwa had arrested and was keeping in jail 120 activists. These activists stayed in jail for over 6 months without trial. And when I talked to the guys at SADC, they told me to go to Zambia. I went to Zambia. On my arrival in Zambia, the state agents of Zimbabwe tried to poison me twice in Zambia. And I will be showing you that as time goes on, I'll be showing you more and more of what happened and what kind of injuries I got from the attempts to sanction me or to poison me or to take me off the earth by Mnangagwa. Right, I think we've covered everything. Let me go to the question. I think someone wants to ask something here. Hande, guys, even military is on our side. Let's rule Zimbabwe together. Yes, I'll be talking more about the process tonight, and I'll be giving you details. I think maybe most of you want to know what has happened. So let's go back to the coup. Right, so there is a coup that is coming in Zimbabwe. There is an imminent coup that is there for the removal of Mnangagwa. The biggest problem we have currently is we don't know who is coming after Mnangagwa is removed. It's going to become clear, but currently it's not clear. We know that the favorite is Chiwenga, but as I said, the military always works in two. So you always see two people in the military. If one person is gone, another one will come. What happens if Chiwenga is not there? What happens if Chiwenga is not willing? Who is coming? That is the question. We have to be very careful about what's coming. Because right now, we know that the military is fed up of Mnangagwa. But I believe that there is a bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that for the next 10 years, we're not going to have a government, a civilian government. we're going to have a military government, or we're going to have what is called martial law. So martial law is coming on Tuesday. If there's no protest on Monday, martial law is coming on Tuesday. If we have a protest on Monday, we're going to have what is called an NTA, a National Transitional Authority. The war veterans have been given a chance to make it happen. There are people overseas currently working on the NTA document. There are people within Zimbabwe working on the NTA document. However, if the civilians fail to remove Mnangagwa on Monday, we're going to have martial law from Tuesday going onwards, because the army has said civilians have failed. So we need to put in the military. So that is what is happening right now. We are going to see something very big happening on Monday, a mobilization. People staying home, businesses staying closed, and a group of people going towards Mnangagwa's house to remove him, to take over the palace, to take over State House. That is going to happen on Monday. If that fails, we're going to have martial law. Soldier against the soldier is coming on Tuesday. So soldier against soldier is coming on Tuesday. If you don't get a proper protest taking place on Monday, there's general lawlessness in the country. No one is obeying authorities anymore. And if this situation continues, we're going to have a dangerous situation developing, where we have a jungle, or rule of the jungle, or a banana republic worse than Somalia. That is what is going to happen in Zimbabwe. However, remember, the idea is for Mnangagwa to steal as much as possible before he leaves. Mnangagwa knows he's leaving. He's going to leave with 10 tons of gold. He's going to leave with all the Bitcoin. He's going to leave with all the US dollars. He's going to delay it as long as possible and steal as much as possible. That is his plan. Mnangagwa is a master of stealing. So this is what is happening right now. Mnangagwa stealing, Witnojvayo, getting out of the country to Dubai with the gold. They don't check, in Dubai, they don't check where your gold is coming from. They just take it. So if you've got a private jet, you fly out of Harare, you've got a private jet, you land at Dubai, they are going to welcome you with your gold, whether it is clean or dirty gold. They don't care. They don't follow rules. The guys in Dubai are the biggest Chigananda you have ever seen. You have never seen a bigger Chigananda than the guys in Dubai. Chigananda. That's what the guys in Dubai are. They are worse than you think. According to these dictatorships, they don't care as long as the money enters their country. So, where are we now? The bombings have taken place, and I'm expecting, obviously, a statement from the police. So let's see if there's anything that has come out of the police today. So we're going to go to X, x.com. Unfortunately, one of the companies that was bombed in Zimbabwe is Starlink. So let's see if there is anything here. Right, in Bulawayo right now, as we speak, there is a march. Right now, as we speak, there is a march. And let's see what else is there. The bombing is trending. Nick Mangwana is laughing. Ucharega kuseka Nick. Uchavezwa tundevu utko. Tuma stabs. Nick Mangwana. Uchata Nick Nezuro. Very soon. Don't play with what's coming. What's coming, most of the guys in government, they are going to run from Zimbabwe with nothing but the shit on their back. So most of the guys who are in government, they are going to see them. Like Nick Mangwana, his wife stays overseas. They will never come to Zimbabwe. Mutulingwe is long gone. He's gone. He's clever. He's not going to stay there. And Scott Sakupanya is gone. He's not coming. He's not even paying his bills. He's ran off. If you stay in Zimbabwe, they are going to catch you. That is what is going to happen. There's a group of people that are ready to catch Kubata, what you call Kubata in Shona. Kubata means you're touched and you won't be released. So let's see what Nick Mangwana, I want to show you what Nick Mangwana is saying. So Nick Mangwana is making fun of the guys who bombed. But I told you that someone has been kidnapped. I hope that you are not the next person to be kidnapped, Nick. And when they kidnapped you, I think they'll make sure that you are dealt with. That would be funny. So that is Nick Mangwana's tweet. You can go check it out on here. That's a reaction. What a mastermind plan. They collect some clankers, drive them to a spot outside some place, set them ablaze, and then sprint away like lunatics. And the grand strategy behind the genius move is to what? Scare me someone, please. And there's actually people holding. Show more. So I don't know what else is more. Let's read whatever I say. Holding breath, eagerly awaiting these amateurs and stands, jokes on them right. So all I want to say to you is that this is just the beginning. I'm not taking sides, but what I can tell you that Mnangagwa is gone. Mnangagwa is gone. Do not worry about Mnangagwa. He's gone. And then let's look at other people who have spoken here. I want to specifically look at, let me look at ZimLive. The ZimLive is the CIO newspaper. The CIO of Zimbabwe runs a number of newspapers, including Zimbabwe Mirror and Zimbabwe Live. And then Mnangagwa runs the independent newspapers, which is all the newspapers owned by Trevor Ngube. Right, so there is a serious situation that is taking place in Bulawayo. A police officer has been shot dead at a roadblock. So I just told you that there's absolute lawlessness in the country. So a police officer has been shot dead when he tried to stop a vehicle. This is part of the lawlessness that is taking place in the country. And let's see if I can share this with you so that you can see a police officer shot dead over there. So that is lawlessness over here. And we'll try to see if someone can go over there. RIP police officer Rambai kushandiswa anoshota kumba kwenyu vari kudya vachingodya. So police, obviously, people are very angry right now, very, very angry. They don't like what's happening. They hate what Mnangagwa is doing. And there is a general sense that by Sunday, the situation will reach another level and there will be a state of emergency having been declared, martial law by Tuesday if there's no protest by Monday. So understand the sequence of events. We started way back, we got here, and then on Monday, everything is going to converge. On Tuesday, martial law if there is no successful protest. The question is, who is president on Monday? Who is going to be president on Monday? What is Mnangagwa going to react like? What is going to do? And what are the people going to achieve? Ordinary people like myself and yourself. And let's see what Mdarageza said. I want to raise a point of Chamisa here. Where is Chamisa in this whole game? And I want to show you what Mdarageza said.
South Africa, my issues in Zimbabwe, Tilodlana issues sema Zimbabweans. Issues sema Zimbabweans, my issues edu. Right? And the taka batana, so to promisala kwa taka ita. Right? Tataura me ose my political players. Wanacha misa, wanachibaya, wanasikana, wanabiti.
All right. Wanachamisa, wanabiti, wataurwa navo. I believe Mdarageza. I believe Mdarageza that he has done the homework. He can't have taken all this time for no reason. And I believe that everyone knows what's happening. They've just been told to move back while things happen. So let's see what Mnangagwa has proposed to do.
Excellence. Kune nyaya dziri kutaurwa mu social media. Dziri kutaurwa nyaya dzekuti kune ma demonstrations. Your Excellency, kana inina wamachaka ire tichiri vakuru vevana vamunoona vakazara umu hakuna demonstration inoitika. Chatingatokumbira Your Excellency ndechekuti mungotichengeta nawamachaka ire tiri vaviri muone kuti hakuna zvinoitika. Asi tikabva panganetsa chef mongotirega tiripo. Tinoda kuti murare hope Your Excellency. Isu hativhundusigwi nesocial media nokuti isu hatina kuzvahwa takabata mazai Your Excellency. Munhu wese akangozvahwa akafanana nemwana womumwe munhu. Isu as Youth League, basa redu is to defend the president and to defend the party. Vamunangagwa oye! Pachigaro pa Vamunangagwa! Ukamira ipapo! Futsek, gesa futsek! Putsek, Mr. Putsek. Shit, Mandu.
That was amazing. But what I can tell you is that tonight there will be a whole lot of flights with a whole lot of people, and most of the guys are not going to stand around and defend Mnangagwa. So what you're going to see is paid people that are going to be defending Mnangagwa. You're going to see paid people on Mnangagwa side. Mnangagwa has a lot of money. He has stolen 10 tons of gold from the vaults of the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. He's stolen 3 billion worth of Bitcoin. So what you're going to see is a lot of people on Mnangagwa side. But what is the end game? Why would Mnangagwa spend 1 billion to take and keep Zimbabwe? I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think Mnangagwa is going to put up a fight. I think they are going to run. So that is my theory. Mnangagwa is going to run. They are going to keep what they've stolen and they are going to go. You are going to wake up and you are going to find people inside Mnangagwa State House. This is going to happen by Monday. That is my expectation. If by some chance Chiwenga sits there and gets killed, then we have a serious problem. We have a serious lawlessness. We need Chiwenga for stability. That is why people want Chiwenga. Chiwenga will provide stability. And currently, even the new guys that were appointed, they know that in Zimbabwe, there's only one person in Zimbabwe who can bring this country under control. That person is Chiwenga. That is why you see everyone is just accepting Chiwenga, because no one else has the ability to bring this country into order. So outside of the military, the only person that can bring this country into order, the only person that can stand up to Mnangagwa, the only person that can tell every single person in Zimbabwe what to do is Chiwenga. There's no other person in this country who is left who can bring the country to order like Chiwenga. That is why you see that the majority of the people have agreed that Chiwenga must take over. Chiwenga must become the next president. So the plan is that by the 18th, when we go to independence, there will be an inauguration of Chiwenga, and Chiwenga would then be asked to work with all sorts of people, opposition, overseas, diaspora. Everyone will have to get a listening ear. Mdarageza will play a big part. Mdarageza, the most bravest person in Zimbabwe. He gave that interview in Zimbabwe. He stayed in Zimbabwe. 12 armed men tried to kill him. And you can go and check it out on Gambakwe. They tried to kill Mdarageza. 12 men, they came and fired at him with machine guns, and they failed. I don't know if they're still alive, but I know that they failed. So we have a serious problem. Yekuti, external players, South Africa, the mercenaries are now becoming a factor. Whereas in Zimbabwe, I believe that Mnangagwa himself is going to run. His family has already left the country. And also most of the people around him has left, especially last night. Most of them have left the country. And people like Opam Chinguri, who was appointed as a fake defense minister, is nowhere to be seen. She is not speaking. She's not saying anything. She's just quiet. And now they're leaving the politicians, people like Mangwana, Mamo to speak. But you never see a military person speaking on this issue. The Zimbabwe military should be speaking right now, but you never see them. This is a political matter, and it's a very dangerous matter. Then let's go to Comrade Nyokai Mabunu. Last night, I spoke to Comrade Nyokai Mabunu. Who is Comrade Nyokai Mabunu? Who is Comrade Kid Marongrong? Kid Marongrong. This man has been doing a lot of work. Since last year, Kid Marongrong has done all the speaking for the military. After the military was deplatformed, the Zimbabwe military was deplatformed at the same time that Elson Moyo was fired. Their website was taken away. Their Twitter was taken away. Their Facebook was taken away. And they have got no access to any communications. So the Zimbabwe military has got no access to any communications. In fact, if there was no Kid Marongrong and Comrade Nyokai Mabunu, you would never have known about what's happening right now. Because Mdarageza, he speaks once in a while. What Nyokai Mabunu has been doing is every morning, he has been giving an update, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 times, sometimes 4 times. I talk to most of these war veterans, and I know that they trust Nyoka Mabunu to communicate the strategy. And the strategy that has been communicated is simple. Mnangagwa is going to go. The rest of the guys around Mnangagwa are going to be taken out by Sunday, and by Monday there will be a new government. If you are still in Zimbabwe and you're one of those people, then you're out. You are gone. You are finished. And your parents and children will be crying. But they said you must go. Mnangagwa has been given an opportunity to leave. Otherwise, you'll be killed or face arrest. And this brings us to the prophecy. So I want to end with the prophecy. Most of you have not seen it. And what I'm going to do, unfortunately, the people who send it to me, let me watch it as a private file. You know those files you send and then it goes away. There was a prophecy which was issued about 2 months ago by one of the biggest churches called the Apostolic Church, Mapostori, Mazibaba, the church where Wikino goes. The prophecy goes as follows. The military of Zimbabwe is going to be divided into two, and they will fight each other on the streets, and the fight will end at parliament, where one side will fight another in front of the parliament of Zimbabwe. So that was the prophecy that they all know. Those two sides, they do know it. Then I'll give you the second prophecy of the Apostolic Church. These guys are deeply into spiritualism. The second prophecy is that pachaita mutungamiri wekutanga achatonga kwenguva refu, kozoita mutungamiri wechipiri achatonga kwenguva diki diki. Acharamba kubva pachigaro, koita makore manomwe enzara, and achabviswa nemutedzeri wake achibva afa. So he's going to die there. That is the prophecy. And they know it. I've seen it, I've published it, and it was apparently given also long back by one of the original founders of the church, Joanne Masowe. So both of these two groups, they believe in spiritualism. So where is everybody right now? Zimbabwe intelligence is totally against Mnangagwa. So Zimbabwe intelligence, except for their new boss, is totally opposed to Mnangagwa. We're talking of people that are everywhere in the world. Every single intelligence agent is opposed to Mnangagwa, except for their head. That is why they removed their boss, Isaac Moyo, and put this one, Mangwanya, in. Now the question is, will Mangwanya go with the people, or will he go with Mnangagwa on Monday? So very important. Mutamba, the police are totally opposed to Mnangagwa. The majority of the police don't want Mnangagwa. They want the change of government. Matanga was removed. He's got a massive influence among the war veterans, well known among the war veterans. And then we've got the new army commander, Zimbabwe National Army commander, here. And this one has got no influence. No one even know him. Like most of the guys don't know him, even in the army. He was general staff administration, chief of staff administration, and no one knows him. He's got nothing in terms of, in fact, he hasn't even sat in his chair right now. He hasn't taken the oath. He's just a guy who's wandering around right now. However, do not dismiss these people. I'm just saying it, but don't dismiss it. These people are all veterans. These people that I'm showing you here, they're all veterans. The war is not about Mnangagwa. The war was not fought for Mnangagwa. So don't think that people are just going to say, we abandon the war, we abandon the war veterans because Mnangagwa is president. It's not going to go like that. So the war veterans are going to say the war is more important than Mnangagwa. Given a chance to choose between the war and the ideals of the war and Mnangagwa and this corruption, they are going to choose the ethos and principles of the liberation. No one is going to go with Chigananda. Given the overwhelming proof that is there that Mnangagwa is corrupt, the majority of the people are going to go with the war veterans. No one is going to allow these war veterans to be touched. Guys, I'm coming up to an hour and I don't want to go more than an hour. So we're going to wrap it up in the next 10 seconds. So what this means is that we have a big chance of Mnangagwa running on Monday. Mnangagwa is likely to run on Monday or before. Now we need a new leader, a powerful leader. And that person is Chiwenga. So we are looking at Chiwenga right now. Protect Chiwenga wherever you are. Make sure he doesn't die or get killed. There is a lot at stake in our country, and Chiwenga is going to play a very big and important part. Let me look at the last comment. Mukuru has collapsed. So they say that Mnangagwa has collapsed the State House. I heard that. I've received it. We have published it. Nothing passes us. We are 100% there. I'm 100% here. So nothing passes us. They say Mnangagwa has collapsed. I don't believe it's true. Mnangagwa was busy welcoming the heads of missions today. So I'm going to look at that. I haven't had a chance, but I'm going to look at that. We are going to see what is happening. There is a lot of apprehension among a lot of people. There is an information gap in the country. We're going to close that information gap. We're going to make sure that you guys know and understand what's happening. Let's look at other comments. So let's repeat that prediction. I believe that many people are not going to fight with Mnangagwa. I believe that many people are not going to sacrifice themselves for Mnangagwa and his family. So by Sunday or Monday, the Mnangagwa family is going to run. And if that doesn't happen by Tuesday, we're going to have a total coup taking place in Zimbabwe. And SADC is going to be forced to accept that Mnangagwa is ran off and there's no president in the country. So then it won't be considered a coup if he's not killed. But if he resists, I believe that on Tuesday there will be total martial law and Mnangagwa could be killed on that day. So guys, I apologize, but I overdone it 1 hour. I am talking longer than Makandiwa. Makandiwa, my favorite pastor. Makandiwa, when he was a student, he was my pastor in Bulawayo. That was amazing. Nana Mdara Kufa, Nana Azananiwa, Mdara. You could see that the bright future ahead of them. Ikoko. That was amazing. So, guys, I hope that I've done my best. We are going to stay on top of this topic until Janaka. But remember, tomorrow I'm flying off, so I'm not able to stream tomorrow afternoon. So I'll be able to stream again. Geza. Yes. Mnangagwa arku gezeskwa. Na Mdara Geza. And Mdara Matiwela. These guys, let's take good care of them. Take good care of the war veterans. Take good care of Chiwenga. Take good care of all the people that are supporting the struggle. Take good care of Comrade Nyokayama Bunu. They are coming after him with fake charges. Let's not allow it. Take care of Chamisa. Because what is going to happen is Pachadona Wakawanda, including Vamwe, who are not supposed to dona. So let's make sure that we protect all the people. And Twicha Maneru Mukoma Twicha Maneru Daneta Negutaura. Let me go and take a swim. I'm currently at a certain place. I just need to take a swim because today I didn't gym, and this whole weekend I won't gym. And you know, Kuti, I'm there. I would is also. Right. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And I will see you again very soon. We'll be monitoring, and I'll be here. As soon as something significant happens, I'll give you guys an update. Thank you very much. And Mama wanna get it, Mama wanna get it nice. I know good I'm so